The Earth was bathed in the radiant morning sun when alien vessels materialized. Captain Jake Morrison was enjoying his coffee on the UES Liberty's bridge as the radar display exploded with activity. Countless colossal starships emerged unexpectedly, engulfing the space surrounding Earth's moon. "That's unprecedented," remarked Chief Engineer Ryan Brooks, eyes glued to his console, engrossed in calibrating the ship's cutting-edge engines, capable of instantaneous trans-spatial jumps. Jake set down his coffee, anticipation building. Activating the comms, Luna Command, Liberty here. I presume you're observing our newfound guests as well? Admiral Lisa Carter's weary tone resonated through the speakers, hinting at sleepless nights spent managing this unprecedented situation. Affirmative, Jake. They've been incessantly transmitting the same communique for the last hour. The Galactic Council seeks discourse on Earth. Simultaneously, President Helen Davis was in her office when her aide burst in with the groundbreaking update. The Galactic Council had resolved to engage Earth firsthand, foregoing intermediary transmissions. Space tensions had escalated as the aliens' discontent with humanity intensified in recent months. Yet their grievances were largely dismissed. The colossal alien vessels dwarfed any human-made structure, resembling shimmering, metallic, and crystalline metropolises adorned with ever-shifting lights, but the seasoned crew of the Liberty remained unimpressed, having witnessed such spectacles before. "They're demanding a parley," Admiral Carter relayed over the comms. "The esteemed High Arbiter Zextal seeks an immediate audience with our leaders, claiming utmost urgency." Jake chuckled, shaking his head. "With these guys, everything's a crisis." Council types. Has anyone informed them we're swamped this week? Ryan glanced up from his work, a playful grin spreading across his face. Perhaps word got around about the Brisbane debacle last month? You know, when we inadvertently obliterated that so-called immovable asteroid? The Brisbane incident was a straightforward mining op that escalated somewhat dramatically. Humanity had engineered cutting-edge tech designed to fracture space rocks for resource extraction. Instead, they utterly annihilated an asteroid comparable to a small moon in approximately 10 seconds. The Galaxy Council was less than thrilled, deeply disturbed by that blemish upon Earth. President Davis entered the grand meeting chamber, global dignitaries in attendance. The room showcased a colossal table, screens broadcasting the extraterrestrial armada. Unease permeated the air, save for the humans who demonstrated an intriguing curiosity. High Arbiter Zextal's holographic projection materialized, a towering, slender being of iridescent, living crystal. His voice resonated like glass shattering, but translation software rendered it as a furious English speaker. "People of Earth!" Zextal's crystalline form blazed crimson with wrath. "You've disregarded our warnings far too long. Your species has perpetrated unforgivable transgressions against the galactic concord." President Davis reclined in her chair, arms crossed, displaying the concern of someone observing a tedious film. "What transgressions precisely?" "Constructing metropolises on uninhabited worlds, extracting resources from asteroids, assisting other species in advancing their technologies. You have expanded without authorization." Zextal's coloration intensified. Blazing orange, you've staunchly declined to disseminate your cutting-edge weaponry to the Council, flouting our jurisdiction and behaving as if you're a sovereign entity. "We are a sovereign entity," President Davis retorted smoothly. "Last I recall, We weren't exactly lining up to join your exclusive little club. Global leaders spectated this exchange like a riveting tennis rally, heads swiveling between the president and the fuming extraterrestrial. While a few scribbled furiously, the majority fought to suppress their amusement. Zexel's crystal, his face contorted in fury, almost bleached white. The Galactic Council has governed this galaxy for 5 millennia. Every sentient species yields to our dominion, except yours. Perhaps that speaks volumes, President Davis remarked with a faint, superior smile. You have a mere 72 Earth hours to relinquish all colonial territories and accept Council supervision, Zexel proclaimed. You shall disseminate all technological advancements with the Council. You shall consent to our appointed governors on every world. You shall abide by our decrees and heed our direction in all matters. Silence descended upon the chamber for a heartbeat. Then, President Davis erupted in laughter, a mirthful sound triggered by a truly exceptional joke. Is that your absolute final offer? She inquired, dabbing at tears of amusement. This isn't an offer, Zexel declared, his crystalline form radiating an almost unbearable luminescence. It's an ultimatum, unconditional compliance or utter annihilation. We've enacted this upon 100 civilizations. You're next. President Davis rose deliberately, advancing towards the alien projection. Counterproposal. You have precisely 24 hours to vanish. After our ships depart your solar system, we'll demonstrate precisely why the galaxy should fear us, not the reverse. The alien's crystalline form sputtered like a dying bulb. Surely you jest. You're a minor species on a tiny world. We command fleets of thousands, weapons that shatter planets. Indeed, President Davis stated flatly, but we possess the resolve to deploy them. Aboard the Liberty, Jake Morrison monitored the exchange, mid-sandwich. Ryan was still toiling on the engines purring a subtle tune. Ryan wondered aloud if they'd actually bolt Jake. Queried met with Ryan's casual shrug. Doubtful they strike me as the stubborn sort destined for harsh lessons. Shall we unleash the upgraded arsenal? Initiated quantum drives, primed plasma cannons, juiced stealth systems, undergoing final checks. If they crave a cosmic ballet, we're primed to waltz back on Terra. Firma Zaxville was reaching peak exasperation. You're committing a colossal blunder. The Galactic Council stands undefeated. Invincibility, our legacy. Having been tested, we stand as the undisputed galactic superpower. President Davis returned to her seat, adding, You see, the crux of your issue lies in prolonged dominance within limited spheres. You've seemingly forgotten the existence of superior forces. Abruptly, the holographic alien vanished. Display screens revealed the alien fleet poised for an assault on Earth and its moon. Admiral Carter's voice resonated through the speakers. All vessels, Luna Command here. It appears they're not heeding our refusal. Attention all personnel. Brace for potential enemy engagement. Jake Morrison polished off his sandwich, rising to his feet. All right, team. Seems like we're in for a thrilling ride. Ryan, how's engine performance? Flawless, Captain. Ready to demonstrate the prowess of human innovation to these council representatives. President Davis surveyed the room, meeting the gazes of world leaders. Though some still harbored anxieties, the majority now wore confident smiles. They had witnessed humanity's technological capabilities and were no longer intimidated by untested aliens. Esteemed colleagues, President Davis declared, Humanity stands poised to impart a lesson of unprecedented magnitude to the Galaxy Council, one they shall eternally remember. For over 5 millennia, the Galaxy Council held dominion over the Milky Way, yet encountered no species mirroring humanity. Every sentient race before us crumbled before their colossal armadas, pleading for leniency before meekly surrendering. Meanwhile, Dr. Amanda Stone remained steadfast in her earthbound laboratory, analyzing extensive data from numerous alien species as the chief of xenobiological studies. She possessed unparalleled insight into extraterrestrial cognition. The Emergency Defense Council summoned her to elucidate humanity's unique divergence from the galactic norm. Each species integrates into the Council identically, she articulated to the Assembly of Generals and Officials. The Council appears with formidable vessels, issues ultimatums, and the aliens invariably capitulate without resistance. This pattern has persisted. For millennia, General Chris Morgan intently observed. "What distinguishes us?" Dr. Stone inquired, projecting a graph. "Council species typically yield within 6 months post-contact. The most resilient held out for 2 years due to their aquatic habitat, hindering access." "Admiral Carter," he added, addressing Luna Command via video, "humans have engaged with the Council for 3 decades. We've flagrantly disregarded their directives, burgeoning into 47 star systems and pioneering incomprehensible tech. Fearlessly, we unveiled a truth both simple and earth-shattering. The Galaxy Council, unchallenged for 50 millennia, faced only primitive or cowardly species." "Over to you, Commander Pete." Jackson was already redeploying his swift response fleet toward the frontier colonies. The Council presumed humans would forsake their settlements, retreating to Earth as terrified children. Instead, something extraordinary unfolded across every human world. On New Detroit, a mining outpost bordering human space, Governor Bill Tucker convened a town hall. The Council explicitly decreed this colony's abandonment due to its proximity to their territory. "So they demand we evacuate," Governor Tucker declared to the assembled miners and families. "Anyone here want to vote on that?" Burst into uproarious laughter. These were pioneers who'd forsaken Earth to forge new destinies on a planet of stark rock and ice, dedicating years to terraforming it for human habitation. The notion of fleeing at the mere suggestion of alien contact was preposterous. "Let's demonstrate the capabilities of human miners with high-grade explosives," a voice boomed from the crowd. The room erupted in cheers and further amusement. Simultaneously, on Mars, Governor Claire Phillips engaged in analogous discussions with her terraforming specialists. Mars represented humankind's inaugural triumphant planetary colony, and they had dedicated decades transforming its atmosphere to render it habitable for humans. "They demand we cease terraforming and relinquish the planet to them," she briefed her team. Evidently, altering a planet's atmosphere sans authorization contravenes galactic regulations. The lead atmospheric engineer, Carol Wright, voiced her disbelief. "We've invested 4 decades into this endeavor. My own father pioneered the initial atmospheric processors. Do they honestly believe we'll simply abandon all our hard work? That's preposterous." "Exactly what they assumed," Governor Phillips countered. "They are accustomed to encountering races that capitulate swiftly. They fail to grasp humanity's relentless tenacity." Back on Earth, initial Council scans yielded perplexing data for their war machines. Human outposts seemed insignificant and fragile compared to colossal alien metropolises, Yet energy signatures defied comprehension. Human infrastructure was emitting power outputs that should have been utterly unattainable for such diminutive structures. Greetings, Arbiter Zaxville. Scrutinizing these reports aboard his flagship, the figures defied logic. Council intelligence suggested humanity's century-long spacefaring history should yield tech barely beyond rudimentary. Yet their energy readings surpassed established Council worlds. Perhaps our sensors are compromised, postulated Subarbiter, his second-in-command. Reanalyze the data, Zexel commanded. Prioritize their military infrastructure. The ensuing scans deepened the enigma. Human military complexes were minuscule in contrast to regulatory standards, yet they emitted enigmatic energy signatures, baffling Council mainframes. Even more disconcerting new nodes materialized faster than Luna-based census takers could track them. Admiral Carter orchestrated defenses spanning the solar system, the Council's crucial blind spot. Human warcraft diverged radically. They erected colossal fortresses meant to cow foes, while we deployed covert, strategically placed outposts were meticulously crafted to neutralize situation reports from every sector. She urgently inquired, "Is the lunar defense grid operational?" A prompt reply confirmed, "Online and primed." Subsequent updates poured in. Mass drivers are fully armed and locked onto designated targets. Asteroid belt mining outposts are battle-ready. Repurposed mining lasers are combat-optimized. Jupiter Research Station is on standby. Antimatter generation is maximized. Each report sounded deceptively ordinary, concealing a terrifying reality that would send chills down the Council's collective spine. Human mining lasers possessed devastating potential. To obliterate asteroids in mere moments, their mass drivers could propel metallic fragments to remarkable fractions of light speed. Their research facilities were synthesizing antimatter, among the cosmos's most perilous substances. Dr. Stone, scrutinizing confidential intelligence reports on Council military strategy, unearthed a disconcerting revelation. "They've never truly waged war," she declared to her research unit. "What exactly do you imply?" queried her colleague, Dr. Kevin Barnes. "Examine this information. Every Council triumph in recorded history was secured through sheer coercion or utterly dominant force. Facing rudimentary adversaries, they'd never encountered foes capable of retaliation. This was the Galaxy Council's fatal flaw, unbeknownst to them. For 50 millennia, unchallenged, they deemed themselves invincible, their vessels designed for intimidation, not survival, their tactics based on capitulation, not conquest. Simultaneously, humanity unwittingly prepared, each colony forged by pioneers. The very survival of Earth hangs in the balance as humanity confronts unprecedented threats. Each vessel is engineered for solo survival in deadly conditions, and every soldier honed to battle foes potentially superior in every way. Commander Jackson's armada arrived at the fringe colonies precisely as the Council's vanguard initiated their advance, a deployment designed as a mere show of force, about to erupt into their inaugural large-scale military confrontation in 5 millennia. "All vessels, this is Commander Jackson," he declared, broadcasting across the fleet. "Remember, these extraterrestrials have only encountered the weak. Petrified of them, let's demonstrate the repercussions of bullying a worthy adversary." Council scouts pinpointed incoming human vessels, bracing to issue their standard surrender ultimatum, a tactic executed successfully countless times. But observing the human ship's approach, an unsettling divergence materialized. These weren't fleeing or concealing themselves. They were aggressively advancing toward the Council fleet, their energy signatures intensifying exponentially. For the first time in millennia, the Galaxy Council was about to confront authentic resistance. The formidable resistance indicated Arbiter Zell was grappling with an unfamiliar sensation: doubt. Humanity's baffling reaction to their ultimatum defied Council expectations. Instead of panic or negotiation, humans brazenly disregarded the threat, maintaining normalcy. Alarmingly, their military advanced towards Council positions, a perplexing deviation from anticipated behavior. Zack stood in the nerve center of his flagship, gazing at the tactical displays illuminating human vessel trajectories across their domain. An anomaly struck him. Human fleets were strategically dispersing, defying logical defensive aggregation. Astonishingly, their colonies dispatched reinforcements rather than recalling vessels for protection. Sub-Arbiter, he summoned his second, elucidate this perplexing human strategy. Veltar, visibly perplexed, scrutinized the crystalline displays, speculating, perhaps they do not understand the gravity of our predicament, High Arbiter. Shall we exhibit our might by obliterating a minor colony, as is customary? Zexel retorted, yet intuition suggests these humans will defy expectation, unlike others. The true crucible unfolded near Proxima Centauri, where Captain Nia Rodriguez commanded a squadron of human destroyers during patrol. The Council dispatched a scouting flotilla of 12 ships, anticipating a swift surrender from rudimentary human vessels confronted by the Council's overwhelming force. Captain Rodriguez, previously a decorated military aviator, having enlisted in the Colonial Defense Force for the thrill of safeguarding humanity's frontier outposts when her sensors registered the approaching Council vessels, her initial response wasn't apprehension, but exhilaration. "Well, look what's coming our way," she broadcasted to her crew. "A dozen Council ships inbound. Seems they're eager for a game." The Council Scout Commander, Fleet Master Keeksel, initiated communications with the human ships, employing the standard intimidation protocol. Having dominated every other species for millennia, pathetic human vessels, you are commanded to yield instantly and brace for boarding. Resistance guarantees utter annihilation. Captain Rodriguez erupted in laughter so infectious, the entire crew echoed it. "Surrender? We just arrived. How about you surrender to us? We promise to be relatively gentle." Fleetmaster Sexiel was utterly perplexed. In his extensive experience, underdeveloped species groveled for salvation or fled in terror. They never jested, nor dared suggest the Council capitulate to them. "Comply within 10 seconds or face immediate annihilation," he declared, praying this stark warning would shock the humans into reason. "10 seconds is all we need," Captain Rodriguez retorted. "Rodriguez to all ships. Weapons hot. Let's give the Council a taste of human ingenuity." What followed utterly shattered Fleetmaster Sexal's understanding of reality. The human vessels dematerialized from their sensors, present one instant, gone the next. This defied every established principle of intergalactic physics known to the Council. Astonishingly, employing cutting-edge travel and advanced military tech, the human vessels materialized behind the Council armada, blitzing at velocity that should have disintegrated them. Their energy weapons penetrated Council shields effortlessly. In the opening salvo, 3 Council cruisers detonated, prompting Fleetmaster Kextol's futile attempt to reorient, only to witness the human ship's baffling disappearance. Reappearing above, They unleashed hellfire from seemingly impossible vectors, obliterating 2 additional vessels. Amidst a cataclysmic inferno, Sextol commanded a desperate withdrawal. Initiate full retreat for all remaining vessels. Evacuate immediately. Yet the relentless human ships were far too swift, materializing and vanishing around the panicked council ships like specters, decimating them with ruthless efficiency. In under 5 minutes, 11 of the 12 council ships lay in ruins, with only Sextol's severely battered flagship managing to escape. Captain Rodriguez, observing the council's last ship flee to safety, expressed her mild dissatisfaction. Well, that proved less challenging than anticipated. I had anticipated a more substantial engagement. Back at the council's main fleet, Zexel was appalled by Fleetmaster Sexiel's report. The human ships wielded inexplicable technology, baffling council scientists. They materialized and vanished at will, their weapons devastatingly potent for their size. Most alarming, the humans reveled in combat. "Unthinkable," Subar exclaimed, scrutinizing the report. "Their diminutive ships shouldn't house such powerful engines. Their weaponry defies our very understanding of physics." Admiral Ben Parker was concurrently dissecting the same harrowing encounter. A command ship within the core human armada received tactical intelligence from Captain Rodriguez's skirmish, precisely validating expectations. The Council's vessels, while visually imposing, were constructed for instilling fear, not practical warfare. Having dominated the galaxy through intimidation for an extended period, they've become inept at genuine combat, he clarified to his lieutenants. Their ships possess limited agility, employ underwhelming weaponry, and utilize strategies tailored to adversaries already psychologically defeated. News of the Proxima Centauri conflict proliferated rapidly. Both fleets converged within hours. The Council faced its initial military setback in 50 millennia. For humanity, it validated their groundbreaking technology's flawless performance. Back on Earth, as President Davis convened with the Joint Chiefs, General Morgan, upon reviewing the battle report, grinned triumphantly. 12 Council ships obliterated, 0 human losses, and minimal ammunition expended, he declared. "I believe it's opportune to reveal our true capabilities." "Not yet," President Davis countered. "Let them speculate." Pondered this, often the dread of potential outcomes looms larger than reality, yet the Council's judgment was clouded. Zexel received galaxy-wide reports of human vessel activity, entire armadas warping into Council systems, not striking, but observing, as if meticulously analyzing defenses and selecting future targets. War computers attempted to decipher human tactics, but the data defied logic, their ships maneuvering in ways that shattered every established principle. Interstellar conflict, they utilized their compact fighters with masterful coordination across vast expanses, their communication undetectable, and their energy weapons defying Council science. "Perhaps a revised approach is prudent," Subarbital proposed cautiously. "These humans surpass our initial assessments." Zexile's crystalline form blazed crimson with fury. "We are the Galactic Council. We do not revise. We do not parley with lesser beings. We shall obliterate them with absolute dominance." As Zexthal spoke, the realization dawned. Humanity defied Council precedent. They scorned threats, dismissed authority, and possessed the alarming tech to weaponize their disobedience. Aboard the UES Liberty, Captain Jake Morrison chuckled, watching Council comms crackle with thinly veiled panic. Their pride prevented admitting a monumental blunder. Reckon they'll actually try something? Are they truly going to assault Earth? Chief Engineer Ryan Brooks inquired as he finalized quantum drive diagnostics. Jake casually responded, likely they've painted themselves into a precarious situation. A retreat on conflict would brand the formidable Galactic Council as vulnerable to a mere human squadron, a humiliating prospect. Jake grinned, gazing at the star-studded expanse where human vessels strategically positioned themselves throughout the solar system. Should they opt for aggression, we shall deliver an unforgettable lesson. The 72-hour ultimatum neared its conclusion. As the clock ticked down, both factions braced for a clash that could either be the swiftest conflict in galactic annals or herald a new epoch, dethroning the Galaxy Council's supremacy in the Milky Way. The 72-hour ultimatum lapsed uneventfully on Earth. President Davis, enjoying breakfast with her family, was alerted by her aide at the stroke of 0 that the Galaxy Council had remained silent. "Shall we reach out?" the aide inquired. President Davis calmly sipped her coffee and responded with a resolute shake of her head. "They know precisely where to locate us if they so desire." Arbiter Zexel, in no state for discourse after Proxima Centauri's crushing defeat, which echoed across the cosmos and ignited doubts among council members about their protective strength. "Initiate the Sol System assault," he commanded, "and demonstrate to these humans the dire consequences of defying the Galactic Council." The formidable Council fleet, boasting over 2,000 warships, advanced toward Earth, marking the grandest military assembly in a millennium, guaranteeing no species could withstand such might. Technologically superior might withstand such immense forces. Yet upon the Council fleet's arrival at the solar system's fringe, they encountered an anomaly. Earth's vicinity was eerily desolate. Absent were colossal defense armadas, fortified orbital rings, or desperate homeworld defenses. Instead, vacant space and a solitary human vessel awaited them. Captain Scott Williams, aboard the UES Retribution, observed the colossal alien fleet's advance, his ship standing alone. Suspended in the void between Mars and Jupiter, confronting 2,000 hostile vessels, the crew maintained unwavering composure, executing final system diagnostics. "All stations green, Captain," echoed the first officer, Lieutenant Karen Hayes. "Outstanding," Captain Williams affirmed. "Establish comms with the Council fleet." High Arbiter Zaville's holographic projection materialized, his crystalline form radiating fury and triumph. "At last, the humans display appropriate deference, facing me with a solitary ship. Human vessel, your forces are outmatched 2,000 to 1. Sexville proclaimed their capitulation, promising swift demise. Captain Williams smirked, straightening his attire. "Attention, Galaxy Council fleet. You're violating human space. This is your ultimate warning to retreat." Zeal's crystalline form blazed scarlet with fury. "You dare defy us? A single vessel against our armada? Victory is unattainable." "Indeed," Captain Williams responded placidly. "We cannot triumph. We have already prevailed. You simply remain unaware." The High Arbiter, consumed by wrath, sputtered, "Annihilate them. Unleash the full barrage. Teach them the staggering cost of challenging the Council." 2,000 Council ships erupted, unleashing a cataclysm of energy beams, plasma bolts, and missile detonations upon the UE's Retribution. The sheer ferocity of the assault should have obliterated anything within 100 kilometers. Yet as the blinding light subsided, the human vessel had vanished. Not annihilated, not even grazed, simply gone. Council sensors registered only the cold void where the retribution had floated moments prior. "Where in the cosmos did they disappear to?" Subar roared from his command chair on the flagship bridge, his voice laced with disbelief and fury. "Attention, Galaxy Council. Your unprovoked assault on humanity and blatant threat of annihilation will be met with unwavering resolve. Human ships have emerged throughout your fleet, striking with impossible speed and devastating force. Your shields and armor offer no protection. This unprovoked act of war will not stand." The Council fleet, caught off guard, attempted a response, yet they battled an elusive foe, almost invisible. Human ships materialized and vanished, delivering precise, devastating blows. Council vessels, unscathed for millennia, detonated in rapid succession. Fleetmaster Doran, helming a heavy battlecruiser, witnessed the carnage with dread as his escorts disintegrated. "This defies logic. Their vessels are too diminutive to wield such overwhelming power," his tactical officer exclaimed. Texner, a youthful council member, scrutinized the sensor readings with increasing astonishment. "Sir, I suspect those aren't weapons. I believe they're mining instruments. Observe these energy signatures. They mirror the beams used to dissect asteroids, only concentrated and intensified. They haven't even deployed their military arsenal yet." Dr. Amanda Stone, observing the conflict from Earth's command center, dissected incoming tactical data, proclaiming to the assembly of military officials, "They aren't attempting to obliterate the entire fleet. Their attacks are remarkably precise. They're targeting command structures, ships' communications arrays, and weapon systems, but leaving the crew sections unscathed." General Morgan affirmed, "They're projecting dominance. They possess the capability to annihilate us, yet they deliberately abstain, a potent signal." The Council fleet absorbed the message with stark clarity. In a mere 47 minutes of engagement, they hemorrhaged over 800 vessels without scoring a single human kill. To compound their humiliation, the humans openly broadcast council pleas for cessation, ensuring the entire galaxy witnessed their abject capitulation. Zaxel ultimately decreed, "Withdraw. All ships. Execute a full retreat immediately." Yet human vessels proliferated, an inescapable presence. Council ships attempting evasive maneuvers found their engines crippled by pinpoint assaults. Those daring to retaliate had their weaponry neutralized preemptively. The formidable Galaxy Council Armada was being systematically dismantled by a virtually undetectable adversary. Captain Williams materialized on the flagship's communication panel, his visage composed amidst the surrounding pandemonium. "Greetings, Arbiter. Your fleet is vanquished. I suggest you order your ships to cease weapons operations and power down. And brace yourselves for our terms," Zetol roared. "The Galaxy Council yields to no one." "Then prepare to witness your fleet's annihilation until you reconsider," Captain Williams retorted. "We are resolute. This could persist indefinitely." The crucial query is, what is the acceptable threshold of casualties for your hubris? Commander Pete Jackson's relentless pursuit squadrons were now executing hyperspace jumps into Council territory, devastating logistics hubs and command infrastructures. Within mere hours, the Galaxy Council was inundated with frantic distress signals originating from planets once deemed invulnerable. "Sir," Subarl announced somberly, "we're receiving alarming reports of coordinated assaults on 17 Council worlds. They are meticulously dismantling military infrastructure while deliberately avoiding civilian casualties. Zextile's crystalline form pulsed faintly, his essence depleted by the cataclysm unfolding. How is this conceivable? We commanded the most formidable fleet ever assembled. Raw numbers prove irrelevant when precision fails. Admiral Parker's voice echoed through comms. Your vessels were built for subjugation. Ours are forged for genuine combat. The engagement concluded, but the true war has only just commenced. For 50 millennia, the Galaxy Council reigned through dread. Now, the tables had turned. Captain Scott Williams, back on his bridge, surveyed the crippled council ships adrift in the void. This is UEES retribution. You have precisely 1 hour to evacuate this system. Any vessel remaining in human space past the deadline will be deemed hostile and obliterated. High Arbiter Zeol scanned his command center, meeting the gaze of his officers. Chilling realization dawning upon them. For the first time in his extensive existence, he witnessed raw terror in their eyes, a stark dread of humanity, of impending events, and the looming collapse of the Galaxy Council's dominance. Dispatch a communique to the Council's origin planet, he stated calmly. Inform them that we require discourse with the humans, that the entire landscape has been irrevocably altered. The galaxy will forever bear the mark of this transformation. Half a year following the Earth conflict, High Arbiter Zell was confronted with an unprecedented circumstance for a council head: confinement within a sterile reception area. Aspiring to convene with President Helen Davis, the esteemed Galaxy Council sought authorization to address the very species they once sought to obliterate. This neutral space station, the venue for the pivotal meeting, was ingeniously erected by humanity in a mere 3 weeks. It gracefully orbited a diminutive planet equidistant between Earth and the Council's origin. The station itself was a testament to human ingenuity, showcasing remarkable engineering feats that continued to bewilder the Council. Representing human military interests, Admiral Lisa Carter was seated opposite Zexville in a well-appointed conference room, observing. Composed and self-assured, the High Arbiter's crystalline form was fading, revealing his exhaustion. Your species has compelled us to reevaluate our fundamental understanding of the galaxy, Zexel conceded, his tone subdued, a stark contrast to his prior hostile pronouncements. President Davis offered a courteous smile. The essence of humanity, Ambassador, lies in our aversion to coercion. We gladly coexist as amicable neighbors with those who value our dignity, but we shall never be subjugated. The disagreement, seemingly straightforward, held revolutionary implications. The Galactic Council would acknowledge human sovereignty and territorial rights, forge official diplomatic ties with Earth, and, crucially, cease coercing species into Council membership. This will profoundly reshape everything, Zexil lamented. For millennia, the Council has preserved galactic order through might and influence. Accepting these terms risks emboldening other species to challenge. We agree. Admiral Carter advanced. Perhaps it's opportune. Maybe the galaxy needs authentic democracy, not dictated mandates. Earth's battle resonated universally, sparking widespread change. Numerous subjugated species seek autonomy. Others demand council representation. Intimidation-based governance crumbles. Dr. Amanda Stone's report elucidated the underlying reasons. The Galaxy Council committed the age-old blunder of internalizing their own inflated rhetoric. After 50 millennia unchallenged atop the galactic food chain, They'd tragically forgotten that even apex predators face existential threats. The groundbreaking accord that followed irrevocably reshaped the Milky Way's power dynamic. Humanity earned recognition as a sovereign civilization, free to boldly explore and expand. The Council vowed to curtail its aggressive expansionism and empower member species. But the true paradigm shift lay in how other species, the Council witnessed the seemingly invincible empire, dominant for 50 millennia, fall to a single species in under an hour. If humanity achieved this, others might too. Admiral Jake Morrison now spearheaded the inaugural joint human-alien exploration, venturing beyond the galaxy's frontier. His team comprised humans, ex-council members, and previously isolated races too intimidated to engage. The Council was correct on one point, he declared during their initial assembly. Humanity poses a threat. We're a menace to oppressors. Despots and those who believe in might makes right beware. But we're the greatest allies you could wish for if you honor us. The galaxy was transforming swiftly. Trade lanes once monopolized by the Council for millennia were now accessible to all. Unprecedented alliances bloomed between species formerly forbidden to communicate. Technologies flowed freely, no longer stockpiled by Council elites. On Earth, President Davis conferred with ambassadors from 20 distinct species, each eager to forge ties with humanity. Some ex-councilors sought sanctuary, while secluded races emerged after generations. We don't aspire to usurp the Council, she clarified, but to champion equitable lives, free from oppression. The Council, guided by Subar and human expert, braced reform, initiating democratic elections. For the first time in intergalactic council history, diverse member species were granted genuine voting power, superseding mere directives. The Council's metamorphosis was arduous, with numerous leaders struggling to comprehend the rationale behind heeding species they had historically deemed subordinate. However, the consequence was evident. Dissatisfied species possessed the option to seek sanctuary under humanity's aegis, and humans had unequivocally demonstrated their capacity to fulfill such pledges. Captain Scott Williams now commanded the Solitary Defense Fleet, the most sophisticated military entity in existence. Galaxy, yet the majority of his vessels dedicated their time to pioneering uncharted star systems and aiding other species in resolving dilemmas rather than engaging in warfare. He frequently imparted to his officers that the paramount advantage of possessing the galaxy's mightiest military force lies in the infrequency with which one must demonstrate it. A multitude of predicaments find resolution merely through presence and inquiry. Notably, Commander Pete Jackson's exploratory armadas had unveiled 17 nascent civilizations in the preceding half-year, all previously hesitant to engage with the wider galaxy under the prevailing Council's authority, now exhibiting eagerness to integrate into the burgeoning collective of autonomous species. Dr. Stone was engrossed in her endeavors. Next up, an in-depth exploration into interspecies collaborative synergy. Her groundbreaking research informed novel governmental structures, empowering universal enfranchisement, preempting hegemonic control. The cosmos offers boundless space for all, she posited in her recent thesis. Our conflicts stem from the misplaced notion of entitlement to dominate. Ryan Brooks, now Chief Engineer of Human Space Forces, collaborates with extraterrestrial scientists to forge innovative, universally beneficial technologies. Species the quantum drives, humanity's former combat edge, were now openly accessible to any civilization pledging peaceful application. He elaborated to intrigued alien engineers, contrasting the Council's power-centric hoarding with humanity's belief in technology as a shared tool for universal betterment. 5 years following the Galaxy Council's initial threat, the Milky Way had undergone a profound transformation. The Council persisted, yet reformed into a democratic entity serving its constituents rather than governing them. Humanity had ascended to become the galaxy's de facto peacekeepers. The galaxy transformed, not by force, but through courage against oppressors. Once High Arbiter Zextal, now Ambassador Zexal, frequented Earth, fostering diplomacy. He grew fond of human coffee and wit, though human slang still baffled him. "Your kind showed us that might without insight is mere frailty," he confided to President Davis. "We feared losing dominance, forgetting its purpose." We initially sought influence. The galaxy gleaned a crucial insight. Often sustained tranquility hinges on universal awareness that a guardian vigilantly protects the vulnerable. And within the Milky Way, humanity assumed that role.